So as a Gentile, I'm here to profess, black people, you are Israelites, you are the chosen ones, you are a prestigious people. Your history is in the Bible.
Once again, I want to share with you some interesting things that are constantly being exposed around the world.
We're here in Jerusalem. Randomly, these lights don't work because look how they have the Messiah painted. But the lights don't work. So you can't even catch that. You won't even notice it, how they have them painted.
I'll just say that they look like
that dog, that man right there.
Man. And then whoops, the lights are on over here. That's interesting. Mira que interesante.
We're in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. We are at the Roman chapel. And one of the things that we want to point out to our viewers today is that if you could shine the light upon this picture of Yahshua, and you see that his ethnic originality is African. Now, these pictures are always in the dark in this particular church because this depicts the true ethnic origin of Yahshua. Yahshua was an African Hebrew Israelite. And here, these pictures depict his true pigmentation. Okay? And as we had mentioned before we came into the church, that Constantine was a sun worshiper. He was a high priest of sun worship. That's why most of all these pictures, you see these sun discs behind
check the pictures.
If you look at the pictures and you look at the sun disc represented Zoroastrianism, which was the pagan worship of the sun. Okay? So one of the things that we pointed out that above the edicule, you saw what was in the ceiling, a depiction of the sun.
Correct.
So you have to understand that the Roman Empire was populated by pagans.
Okay.
So how could an Hebrew who was named Yahshua convince some pagans to follow him? His message was tampered with.
Okay.
And in order to disconnect his message from the Hebrew scriptures, the Greeks convinced some African Hebrews who became Hellenic. And how do you become Hellenic? You got to go to the Greek institutions of higher education, which was really lower education. And they had the Hebrews to translate the Hebrew scriptures into Greek, and then you get the Greek Septuagint. So the New Testament was really a new misconception.
Right.
The binding, book binding in Ethiopia. The cover, wooden board cover, as you see. Everything is made at home. So, this is 15th century manuscripts. Sometimes, it's amazing that, people in the 15th century, were they, aware of color? All the saints, even the Virgin, is painted black. Even today, you don't find such paintings in churches, always, a bright color, not black color. So, it has to be studied very well, this type of documents. Look, even the evangelist, this is Matthew, and the harag or the decorations, all this,
בתי כנסת בניגריה, בתי כנסת גדולים ויפים.
הוא נמצא בארץ ישראל.
אני נמצא בארץ ישראל.
יש שם 55 בתי כנסיות. שם, באיפה שהכושים גרים.
אפריקה.
באפריקה.
והם אומרים שהם שייכים לשבטים.
הם אומרים שהם שייכים לעשרת השבטים.
זה אומר שהם עושים בריס מילה, והם עושים שבס. יש להם מקווה.
יש להם ספר תורה. זה בית כנסת מגן אברהם. יש להם פה בית כנסת מגן אברהם.
יש להם ספר תורה גביל. גבילים.
So the Bible has been misused. Don't be cheated. Let's not be nice to each other because we are Christians. The Bible has been misused. The Bible is now the greatest instrument in creating false industries in the continent of Africa. And that is not to be celebrated. It is to be frowned upon. And we who claim to be Christians, and I normally use this very deliberately, we claim to be Christians. As to whether we are is another debate. We'll only discover that a little later when we are in heaven. And therefore, when we talk about rediscovering, we are saying that it was once discovered. But let us situate the Bible in its proper place. Christianity as we know it today in the continent of Africa was midwifed to us in the continent through Europe, through the missionaries. When they came, they were reading the very same Bible that we are reading today. When they sat in Berlin and were dividing the continent of Africa, they were reading the same Bible that we are reading today. The same Bible in which, in Paul's letter to the Galatians at chapter 3:28, he says, there are no Jews, no Gentiles, no slave, no free, no woman, no man. They read that verse. It was not interpolated later after they came. They read it. But they came here and conquered us. When His grace was preaching to us, He said, we must always be nice before we are good. Not always. And I've always talked about two approaches to be found in the Bible. One is of John the Baptist and Herodias. It's a dangerous path where you go out into the public and condemn evil. The only thing that you must know is that when you follow that path, Salome will ask for your head. But there are circumstances when it is necessary. Then there are circumstances when it is necessary to follow the path that His grace has suggested. Read the conversation between Nathan and David and what he did to the wife of Prophet Uriah. He comes and tells him, in this place there was a person who had a lamb. Circumstances define which method you use. So the Bible has been misused. Don't be cheated. Let's not be nice to each other because we are Christians. The Bible has been misused. It has been used to support slavery. It has been used to support colonization. It has been used to pervert the truth. That is the Bible that we are saying we ought to rediscover.
For centuries, the true history of the Black Messiah has been hidden, distorted, and replaced with European imagery. The historical Yahshua was a man of African descent, likely resembling the indigenous people of ancient Judea. He was not the pale-skinned figure commonly seen in Western depictions. The Bible itself provides clues. In Revelation 1:14-15 describes Yahshua's hair as woolly and his feet like burnished bronze, as if refined in a furnace. Daniel 7:9 also speaks of the Ancient of Days, with hair like pure wool, reinforcing African features. When Rome adopted Christianity under Emperor Constantine in the 4th century, they saw an opportunity to reshape its message for political control. The Council of Nicaea, 325 AD, formalized the divinity of Yahshua, but also contributed to erasing his true ethnic identity. Over time, European artists, under the influence of the Vatican and colonial rulers, depicted him as a white figure with European features. Long before European colonization, early Christian and Jewish art depicted Yahshua and biblical figures as black. Some of the most compelling evidence can be found in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Hidden among centuries-old icons and mosaics are images of a dark-skinned Christ dating back to early Christianity. Ethiopian and Coptic Christian art. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church, one of the oldest Christian communities, has always depicted Yahshua, Mary, and the apostles with dark skin. 15th century Bibles and manuscripts, medieval European Bibles, such as the Russian and Byzantine icons, still retain some images of a black Christ, indicating that the whitewashing occurred much later in history. The Catacombs of Rome. Early Christian frescoes in Roman catacombs show dark-skinned biblical figures, including Moses and the Madonna and Child. Despite this evidence, the colonial era ushered in a systematic effort to change these images. By the Renaissance, 14th to 17th centuries, European artists like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci reimagined biblical figures in their own image, leading to the widespread portrayal of a white Christ. The Igbo people of Nigeria have long claimed descent from the ancient Israelites, a connection supported by their customs, oral traditions, and religious practices. According to scholars and historians, the Igbo language contains Hebrew words and names. Traditional Igbo religious practices mirror those of ancient Israel, including circumcision on the 8th day, kosher-like dietary laws, and observing the Sabbath. British colonizers and missionaries attempted to suppress Igbo Jewish identity, just as they erased African influence from Christianity. DNA studies and historical records suggest that Igbo ancestors were among the Israelites who migrated or were exiled from ancient Israel, reinforcing their place in the broader Jewish diaspora. The truth about the Black Messiah and the erasure of his image is not just a historical curiosity. It is a call for spiritual and historical awakening. The colonial distortion of faith and identity has shaped global consciousness for centuries, but the evidence remains in ancient texts, art, and the living traditions of African peoples like the Igbo Jews. It is time to reclaim and restore the authentic history of Yah and his people. Well, as you can see, this continues to be a great time to be alive. Thanks to today's technology, more and more people are able to discover and share the truth that has been hidden for centuries. As we navigate the sign of the times we are in, people must remain steadfast in their commitment of seeking truth, for it is in the illumination of truth that we find the pathway to genuine understanding and collective liberation. People that choose to know the truth can find it if they are willing to do the work. Tell me what you think about these hidden truths. Hope you find the information in this video informative. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, and don't forget to click on our membership button and join. Thanks for watching.